Yes, out here in the meadows, man, between the furrowed fields of life, and beyond them too, man, way up in the high mountains in the desert, wouldn't you say, where you'd least expect it. There is the beginning of everything. Yeah, right there at 9,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky, a little trickle of water flows up from the ground and says, looky, looky what's been found. I'm here to bring you all around with a steady flow of love coming from the headwaters of love. Spring Creek, you betcha. Right here in Colorado with Grandpa Coyote and a whole raft of angelic friends, including our little assistant DJ, Okiwan Kenobi, who is my little whiny weenie dog of the day. Well, every day, actually. Without whom there would not be this beautiful little Spring Creek here on the Hazy Radio Network, because I just wouldn't be able to maintain without my buddy here, man. I hope you got a buddy in your life, too, and one that helps you all the way through in that animalistic sort of way. Keeps you, down to earth, wouldn't you say? You can forgive yourself for being human when you see how crazy the animals are, eh? Well, they certainly forgive us of a lot now, don't they, man? I mean, look at the bullshit the horse kingdom's put up with, the dog kingdom, the cat kingdom, and the cattle kingdom, yeah, and the buffalo kingdom. I mean, we have so abused our fellow sojourners here in this life. As the dumbed down, human race that we are, sometimes it gets right down to personal, too, where it's just, you feel like, man, you killed off the whole buffalo. Maybe you did at some point, man. If it happened in everybody's heart. So we all feel it, and it's like the guy pulling the trigger is just the representative of the rest of us, right? Well, it's the same with anything that goes on here, man. We're all in this together, and we're all doing it together, whatever it is. And even though there's no damned excuse for what you're doing, there you are doing it along with the rest of us, because, man, otherwise we would have stopped you one way or another, because we are what? The very living art of creation. But, always them qualifiers, eh? Well, this qualifier ain't so bad. It's just, we've been taught not to be. We've been taught that we're powerless, that, we got to submit, circumvent ourselves to the milk of love that flows forth from the governmental hog troughs, man, and that's bullshit. Because there's always a price on those hog troughs, man, and it usually is your freedom, right? Well, the whole damn planet's been invaded and occupied and enslaved. You think these guys that run everything are doing any better than you are? You better take another look, baby. Oh, yeah, they get to ride around in fancy limousines and shit, but their options in this world are more limited than anything you ever dreamed of. They live in a straitjacket, man. You want to be president? That's a prison, man. Just ask anybody that's been there, man. If they're honest, they'll tell you. Even old King Nebuchadnezzar, who wants to stay in prison for life, man, and is still trying to foment war with the Russian peoples and so on and so forth. It's just out of the question. They're all out of their mind, man. Every jackass one of them. Back there in Washington, D.C., back there in New York City on that place called Wall Street, and in those estates and places where all those big families are back there in the northeastern part of the U.S. of A. and, on across the world where they scattered their little mansions on mountains and shit. They even got some over here in Colorado thinking they're going to get away with something. Well, they got away with something. They built the hippies some of the finest, palatial hangouts in the tops of the mountains there could ever be. Now it's just time to surrender them, don't you see? And parties on all across the world, man. See, what was held in secret, what was held in the vested pocket of the greedy is really meant for everyone. And we just trusted them to hang on to it when we couldn't be trusted with it. Well, they couldn't either, but they got it all through. And now that all that wealth, all that reality is available to you. You see, it's the people win. We rock. We don't have to fight each other anymore. And the big boys just been playing this, man, and somebody's been playing them too. Can you see it, man? I mean, it's simple. And how do you undo it, man? You go, you're going to fight, and kill until we're all done? No. You're going to hate, hate, hate because you feel powerless. They've poisoned us all with their chemtrails and shit. Well, you know, I'm sure that was the intention. But, you know, as a lot of things in this world are, some things are back to front. And even the most evil intentions might turn out to be not what they thought they were, man. Same with the most evil of people behind those most evil of intentions. You know what I mean? See, this week here, baby, is critical in the reality we're living, because this is where you start to see what's really going on here, where your old rubber hits the road. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? This is where you get to rocking. This is where you learn how to shift gears and get it on down the road, man, at a whole different pace and level than we've ever done before. Now, this can come across in a lot of different ways, but the main way is, babies, we're assembling heart all across this earth right now. I don't care what our other differences are. We're assembling heart right now all across this earth, because it's our turn. It's the love of life coming forward now, and nothing else. And this is what we require of our own conscious presence. That means we settle it with all the energies inside of ourselves, right here in the here and now. And from this moment forward, you know, we ain't going in any so-called contrary ways any longer. Everything that we think, do, say, feel, especially feel, is real and is right and is rocking. And we're not going to hate ourselves for it, nor anybody else for what they're doing too, man. There's some real severe sons of bitches in this world, and some real assholes behind them. People that just soon see you dead as look at you. Isn't that sad? That's really sad, man. That anybody could be so empty as all of that, is to be that filled with hatred. But God, you got to understand, it's programmed into them. It's like a solid rock inside of them. These people, if they wanted to change, could not, unless we, as the presence of the collective heart, decide that, well, they've done enough. It's time to set them free too, man. We've all been imprisoned in a role here, every jack last one of us, from the doggies and the kitties and the spiders and the flies and the ticks and the skeeters and the eagles and the doves and everything in between, man, the cattle. I mean, we've all been enslaved here. We've all been played into a role that is not natural to us, don't you know? Why do you think you're fighting all the time? 'Cause you don't feel right. Nothing feels right. This is what drives the rich folks crazy. They got everything, they got nothing, they cannot get enough. They want to blow up planets now and, you know, shoot down the birds and never let a white dove fly again, man. You know, I mean, that's how pissed off they are, because they just can't get enough. It's that empty, alone kind of thing. One is the loneliest number there could ever be. But see, it's programmed torment, man. You know, I mean, son of a gun, our natural way is like, we live in paradise. We look around us. I mean, yeah, we have some conditions here, like in the winter and the summer and so forth, but we live in paradise, man. Everywhere we look is eternal beauty of love reflecting back to us, the most beautiful love there could ever be, as if everything, you know, is an angelic presence here, which, by golly, as we start to get out from underneath all the strife and stress of being enslaved, maybe we can actually realize and see what's going on here, man, you know. Give up these little cardboard houses we've been living in the cities and the countries, and get ourselves a little more mobile, grow our wings back, go live in our natural places, in the high places on this earth, and in the cloud cities beyond there, and come to earth to show her that we care. And each step we take here, a caress of the heart that knows it's not imprisoned here any longer, but chooses to remain because we love our mother. And we are her and she is us, and we are unified in one huge, gigantic love. We are the center of the donut hole of the universe, from which this donut of creation arises around us in all directions. Do you ever think yourself as a donut hole? But there you are, man. Out of the greatest emptiness comes the greatest fullness, don't you know? That's why Dick Cheney chose to live that way, because, you know, he just knew if he could hold that emptiness that long and be that hateful and that frickin' greedy, that the opposite, when it boing to back up on us, would be pure angelic love and emotion in every little avenue of life. So it was worth going through a little hell to get to this paradise, because you're living in paradise the whole time, man, you know. And even though your life is totally controlled and contained by energies beyond yourself, or has been, now you start to see those energies as part of what? Your larger self, darlings. What does that mean? That means that you've been enslaving yourself, right? Well, in kind of a relative sense, it's true, man. This is how you lighten up. This is how you get through. You start to realize it's you doing it to you. All the way across, man. You know, I'm talking to me too. We're all like this. You know, even my little doggy. It's you doing it to you, man. You know, all the time. So in other words, we're choosing the path we're walking on. And usually we chose it long before we ever came here. And so our heart's kind of like on automatic pilot, but yet we think we're like, oh, I got to do this. I'm doing, oh, I'm such a, you're such what? You're such a happy little child. To be free in a world of slavery. Free to feel what you could not feel before. Feel to see then what's real, because your feeling will take you there. You know, it's kind of like taking LSD for the first time, kind of. Only this is far from hallucination. This is where the reality around you starts to manifest itself more fully present than you ever thought it could be. This is where you wake up and begin again in your own creation. This is where you really realize it's been you doing it to you all along. And you've just been projecting this other shit out. You are in charge of this creation, but you can't control it and contain it from this mind of yours. Only as a totally unified person can you live in this creation. Otherwise it spits you out and you have to fight all the darn time, don't you? See? But as a unified person, you are welcome here. The molecular structure of everything rearranges around you. And I mean it too, baby. And it becomes complementary and it doesn't drag on anymore. Some of the biggest frustration you feel in this life when this earth around you seems to be fighting you, isn't it? I mean, no matter how good you got it, no matter how rich you are, the earth around you still seems to be fighting you. You go, arr, but this is the move away from that. This is the move back in the natural direction, where we really are free to be as we choose to be in this creation. And we're no longer imprisoned in any self-imposed prisonry. You're your own warden, in other words. And the prison walls around you too, man. And you can dissolve them away. And you have done. Right here, right now, today. See, it's not something we wait around for anymore. It's bringing it around. See, that's why I'm not too worried about the clown that's taking over here in T-Town, you know, or any of the other rude and reckless people he seems to be appointing to positions of high power and so forth. Because, baby, we're changing the way this world feels, the way it deals with itself, the way it lives. And one morning real soon, maybe even on Inauguration Day, who knows, we're going to wake up to a different reality, you know. Maybe we're doing it right now, boy. It's on us, it's in us, it's coming through us. And it will solidify itself before these freaks get to do anything to us, any further than what they have done already, man. It's time to rectify the freaks and bring them back to our heart. That's why they're going apeshit crazy. They know it's their last few moves, man. It's over with. And they know it, too. But you know what? They're happy inside, right along with the rest of us. They want freedom as much as we do. No one here has been free. We've all been enslaved. Even the Rothschilds, especially them, man. God, in prison, in treachery and torment forever. Structured treachery and torment. Built-in cruelty to last forever and destroy it all and blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of shit we've been having to live in, man. But that wizard was a Wizard of Oz with a bunch of bullshit, man. Though we sure lived through a lot of hell in this here paradise. Learning ourselves, you know, all about that polarized shit, didn't we, man? I mean, it's Hollywood right to the end, too, man. I mean, talk about, you know, always darkest before the dawn. And here we are in this week when it seems like the Fuhrer is about to take over the world and rule with an iron and crazy fist. Well, baby, the Fuhrer of the heart is coming forward right along with him. So this is like the big mama taking over now, man. It'll be no more Reichs and registries and bullshit like that, man. No more little, showers of death and death camps and guillotines and you guys, you are such. Look at the bad dreams and look what they evaporate into now. Steam in the atmosphere above the cool little swamp of life where everybody's in love with everybody else, and from there rises up all the rest of the firmament around them and all the activity in it, man. Spring Creek. The headwaters of life, where everything begins, man. This little oasis hidden high in the mountains out there in the desert, man. The dry desert of your heart is what it's been, hasn't it? Well, guess what? It's rising up as a swamp once again, not just a little trickle. This is the whole doggone ball of wax, man, rolled up into one big old beginning, man. Because this is where life's begun. This is what we're due on. And this is how we're undoing what we've done to ourselves in that tormented way, baby. It's time. Expect the divine then. Respect it. When you see it, you'll be surprised what it is. If it bites you on the ass, don't blame me. You're the one that was trying to run away from it. It's just trying to get your attention, man, Turn your ass around and take a look at what's there, will you? That's better. Pretty soon we're going to be skinny dipping in the headwaters of life, baby, because we already are. We're made of these headwaters, man. This is the mother love in motion. You can't be in a more loving state than to be in tune with Spring Creek and drinking of its fine waters. It's like we're doing right now. And how? Lots of poetic and wonderful drama today as we get yet another beautiful day underway here in this earthly paradise we call life, babies. We ain't so far away now, are we, man? In fact, we're coming around here on the Hazy Radio Network and getting it clear. HazyRadio.com, we got it on here at the headwaters of love in the Spring Creek of Colorado, 9,000 feet high in that Rocky Mountain sky. Oh, yeah. We love you so. That's all we know.